day 2 of the summit. We're all about halfway through with the summit. We got a few more cool things for y'all today. Yes, but now is one of my favorite portions. I actually suggested this to everybody. So I'm glad it actually worked out. This is our Kick It with the STEM Success team. We have a Kahoot trivia for y'all, and we're going to be giving some prizes away with that.
Yes. Yep.
Have a Kahoot trivia. Then we're going to talk about the origins of the summit, how it all works. And then we're going to do some superlatives. So make sure you engage with us in the chat. Make sure you're having conversations with us because we're going to be answering some of your questions right after this Kahoot trivia. So let's go ahead and fire that baby on up. All right. Give us a second here. Standby time. In the meantime, in between time, tell us what your favorite part about the summit is so far. What's been the coolest thing? What's some of the things you all have enjoyed in your workshops, presentations, keynotes?
I just did a workshop with Dr. Grayson, and it was mentorship versus sponsorship, and it was absolutely amazing. She dropped some gems, and the chat was live. Everybody was selling. You know, mentorship is big, right? And we're all about mentorship and support, but really understanding the differences between mentors, advocates, and sponsors is absolutely important when you're trying to elevate your career. So that was amazing.
I definitely would have to be the fireside chats. I mean, we have some amazing people doing some outstanding work, and the fact that we get to have these intimate conversations with them, you get to ask your questions directly to them, it's totally different and a lot more intimate than just hearing them speak at a regular keynote. So that's been absolutely amazing.
Dope. All right, so it looks like the Kahoot is ready here to be fired up. So if you've never done Kahoot before, you want to go on your phone or a device with a browser. Hopefully separate from the Hoover app if you have a separate device with you, like a computer or something like that. And you want to type kahoot.it in the browser. And then you type our special code here, which should be shared with you right now. I'm super blind, so I need to 877-5351. That's 877-5351. So type Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT, and then 877-5351. It's going to be a blast. I hope you've been reading about us. I hope you know something about the STEM Success team because it's going to be some trivia on who we are, what we're about, and maybe some cool, fun facts.
Do we know what prizes we're giving away?
What prizes we're giving away? We're probably going to give away some gift cards. Probably going to give away some gift cards.
Like
probably change somebody's life. Probably buy somebody's lunch today. Probably get somebody some jeans, purse. You know what I mean?
Lunch today could be life changing.
Sure. There you go. And imagine we give you the opportunity to take someone else out to lunch that can change your life, right? See how that ripple effect?
A STEM date.
A STEM date. I mean, look, I don't know. I've been hearing through the grapevine that people are finding STEM days.
People finding STEM days. Get your STEM day.
Get your STEM day. Time the conference, let us know. Drop that in the chat.
You find a STEM day. Okay. All right, who we got coming up here? We got some folks popping in now.
We got Linda Lou. Okay, Nightingale. I see you, Anna.
All right, Anna T. Shout out to T.
Let's go.
Mary. I see you, Corey. Who's gonna win? Lillian in the building. Lillian.
Who's populating?
All right. Y'all gotta get in.
All right. Check us out. If you're just joining us, just jumping in, type Kahoot.it in your web browsing device, hopefully separate from this device that's watching this video. And you type in the code, which is 877-5351. So Kahoot.it browser, and then 877-5351.
All right, they're coming in. How many more time? We're going to give a little bit more time, right? We're going to give a little bit more time. People popping in.
Give another like 30 seconds.
All right. Get in.
Got pull their phones out.
Shout out to you, T. We see you, T. Cody.
Shouldn't take that long. We STEM people here. Come on, y'all.
All right, we want to see. We got some people coming in. All right.
Miss Churchill, I see you.
MC, Tria. Yeah, all right. Stimulate. We see you, Mook. Mook is out there, boy. Mook is out there.
Who's got the funkiest Kahoot name? Let's keep it appropriate.
I know, right? Keep it appropriate. We got to keep our audience in mind, you know.
Who's got a funky Kahoot name? We got 20 people in here.
All right. Here we go. Are we ready to go?
Let's wait like a minute, another minute.
Another minute. All right, cool. Get it.
If you're just joining us again, type Kahoot.it, and then the code is 877-5351. Kahoot.it in your browser, 877-5351 as your code. All right, so we got some more people coming in.
Dominique said, ready for this life-changing prize.
So I Might change the prize. We're gonna change your life with this Kahoot game. You better be ready. All right. So one thing to keep note of: we do have a 7-second delay on when we're talking and when you are here. So because of that, we're giving you all about 30 seconds to see the question before you answer it. So that's something that we actually learned last year. Last year's summit. Tragically, I might add, but this year we're gonna do it better. So here we go. We're about to get it rocking.
Let's get going.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. Tina made it in barely. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Game time.
Let's start. Game time.
If you're joining, you can join us still. It's not too late to join. You can still join.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. The first question is a quiz. Which STEM Avenger left his full-time engineering job this year?
That's a good question. We'll see. Let's see. All right. It's taking a while. Now, even though you got 30 seconds, the quicker the better, right? You can get better points if you answer
fast. The faster you answer the question, the better. You have to be fast and correct.
Fast and correct.
No one wants to be the person that's loud and wrong.
Exactly.
Make sure you're quick and you're correct.
Time is coming out. Here we go.
Time's coming up. Who is it? And
We're still meeting full time, y'all. We're still meeting full time, though. Shout out to the 12 people that got it right.
Are we ready to take questions?
You can do it. You can do the next one.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know what it meant.
No, that's what you
All right, here you go. Y'all ready for the next one?
All
right, let's go. Next one. Here we go.
All right, we can see who's.
Look at Ricky. Y'all Ricky now. Shout out to All right. Here we go. Next question. Here we go.
Second question coming up. Who proudly wears Sheila on her scalp?
All right.
Who is Sheila? All right. It could be two guys.
It could be Nehemiah.
Is it Maynard? Does Maynard wear Sheila on his scalp? Is it me? Sorry, y'all. I didn't have pictures. I only had Getty images. So
Dr. Corey.
Okay, all right. Great job, man. You got some good. You got some people know.
Hey, I think whoever wants to go up and do the next one.
Sheila.
Do the next one.
Go ahead. Whoever the person is.
All right. What's we doing?
Next question is.
Next question. Who got that one?
Danny.
All right. Okay.
Next question is.
All right. Next question is. All right.
Quiz.
Who was recently featured
in Scientific
American?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I just think it could be anybody.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's a lot of science people.
Yeah.
A lot of science people. It could be anybody. Dun.
Let's see.
We need like trivia music.
I know, right? You do.
There is music on the Kahoot. Who does have music?
Oh,
right,
does?
y'all.
Oh, we can't do that.
And it is Maynard O'Kelly.
Oh, yes, awesome. Let's see who guessed that one.
All right.
Dan.
Oh, Danny.
Danny
was on it. All right, here we go. Next one.
Awesome. Y'all are good. This is gonna be close.
Who recently? Okay.
All right, here we go. Who recently signed a contract to become a model for Ford?
It could be me.
It can be anybody but Justin.
Did I sign with Ford or did I sign with the?
Hey, remember you get extra points the quicker you answer the question. Hey, Naomi Thomas, Ontario, Naomi. Ford model in the building.
They guess for Corey too.
Corey deserves it.
Hey, one person. Shout out to the one person that guessed Nehemiah Major. Shout out to you. Somebody think I'm playing. One person. All right. One person guessed me. Let's see. Oh, T is on fire.
All right.
T is on fire. Okay, here we go. Next.
All right, here we go.
Who most recently became a father?
Ooh.
Someone's a baby
We got some people nervous over here. Some people are nervous. You see, here we go. Donovan. They got it right. Right.
This is vacation for him now.
All right. T is trying to take over. All right. We see Ricky fighting back. Anna's coming back. All right, here we go.
Awesome.
Which Avenger is an engineer married to an engineer?
Good question.
Engineer.
Married to an engineer.
A lot of brains out there.
I'm not gonna answer.
I know. Part two of that question is it a healthy relationship?
Oh, Brienne! Four people got it right.
Yes, that was a secret.
Yeah.
We had Nehemiah and Stephanie.
Oh, yeah, no. Not the engineers.
Okay, all right.
And yes,
all
it's
right.
healthy. Civil and mechanical.
Anna.
There you go.
Nice.
Here we
What
go.
we got next?
Here we go.
Which STEM Avenger recently released a solo music album?
Let's see.
All right. Got that left, right, and
I
right.
know. Let's go. Here we go.
The AIDS.
Most people got it right too.
Oh man! All right. Somebody guess you.
Yeah.
Heard you got vocals on the road.
Just a little bit.
Hip hop.
Serenade us
Here you
tonight.
go. Ricky, hit something real quick.
Oh man!
I know where you. What you about? Hey, Dad, it's going up. All right, here we go.
Let's see if I can even read this from here. Which STEM Avenger is the only single one?
Oh. Someone's trying to
Which
chose
STEM
in the group.
Let's see.
Who's the one? Who is the one?
Those are some good. Those are tough.
Good.
Oh,
Let's see.
man.
Let's see. What did I say? What's the answer? It's gonna be even across the board.
Justin!
Oh, Scott Corey got the most votes.
All right, Justin, thank you. All right. Corey got the most votes.
Here at the STEM Success Summit, you can find a bay, a job opportunity, a wife. I mean, there's many things. Feel free to DM me after this. Continue the conversation.
All right. Anna's doing well. Okay.
I'm joking.
All right.
Please.
Crickets in the chat.
All right. Here we go. Last question.
Last question.
Which STEM Avenger is getting a PhD in science communication? Which one of us? There's a lot of psychologists in here, right? We got Maynard, the hip hop science.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people doing science communication.
I
don't know.
That's some smart peeps.
It's future.
Let's see who we got.
Future doctors. And Stephanie. So last question. So let's see who won here.
Let's see
who
who
won
won.
the leaderboard. That was the last question. Thank you for participating, everybody.
Here we go.
All right. Here's the podium.
Third place.
In third place,
Ricky!
Second place, Danny! In first place, and then we had our runners-up. T and MC were our two runners-up. Thank you all for participating. Make sure you shoot us a DM after this.
DM, yes.
And the STEM
Email,
media page.
yes, to the DM, the STEM Media on IG, or send an email as well to team@STEMSuccessSummit.com and put in the subject line, Kahoot. Put Kahoot in the subject line and we'll get you your prize, Anna. Thank you so much for participating.
Yeah. I'm talking about. That was a fun time. That was a good vibe. Let us know in the chat how fun that was. Now we're going to transition to our next phase where we give you an opportunity to ask us anything.
Yeah.
Ask us a bunch of questions in the chat, and we'll be addressing those. And in the meantime, we'll get started with telling a few stories.
Yes.
So
yes.
we have some stimulating questions that'll kick us off here.
All right.
So where was the beginning of the STEM Success Summit? I think it's a good question for you.
Yeah, you want me to take it? Oh, okay.
So What was
right.
the beginning? What was the beginning of the STEM Success Summit?
Yeah. So you
Why'd
come
you start?
in frame. We gotta keep this guy in frame right here, Mr. Fascinate. So you already know STEM Media. We're here at STEM Media. It's all about elevating and empowering. We really look for ways to continue to collectively leverage the value that's in this community. We know there's so many people from diverse backgrounds that have a lot to offer. So in all the things we were doing, our paths came across none other than Mr. Fascinate himself. We were doing things in our own respective rights, online, and like many people do, we connected and said, let's collaborate, right?
Yep.
And so in that conversation, we began to talk about, and you know what the idea came up? Something that's kind of been on our mind a little ahead of the curve at the time, if you will, right? And that was, at the time, a virtual summit. Now, this is before virtual summits were like ubiquitous, right, Justin?
Yeah, it was like before virtual summits were hot and trendy.
Yeah, hot and trendy. So we got too busy, put down a document of ideas, right? Start putting all this stuff together. We had even some creative names at first. What was like our first? Like,
so I remember we were first thinking we're gonna appeal to millennials with a bunch of emojis. Actually, I don't know if y'all know this. It was like the Fire Emoji STEM 100 Summit. So it was gonna be the Lit STEM 100 Summit.
You know that was the first name of this event. The first name was gonna be a fire. It's gonna be an emoji name. That's what it was gonna be. That, right? It would have been hard to do your. Yeah, absolutely, it would have been hard. But that was the original name. But then we kind of, you know, as ideas sometimes they take time to, like, you know, marinate a little bit, right? They were marinated, and then they marinated and began to evolve. And then eventually we came back together after we began to meet some other dope people in the community, as you can see here, and said, hey, we think it's time. So in 2019, the Avengers assembled, right?
That's absolutely right. And we brought a bunch of people on board, some dope folks. And I actually want to give some time to our team members to answer some of these other questions, because then we had people join us.
Yes.
I think the next question is, what made you join the team initially? So anyone else want to take a stab at that?
OG, you want to come? OG, you want to come, Stephanie? Stephanie, you haven't come up here yet.
Yeah.
Stephanie had the last question. Come on, Stephanie, hop on, Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay.
I'm looking like a ghost. Okay, so I was in the science communication space within Instagram, and Maya actually friended me a while ago because we had the same mission about just bringing representation into the public, the mainstream science media. And he was like, hey, we have this idea. I'd love for you to be a part of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And I don't remember anything from there. But yeah, just super, the rest is history. Yeah, no, just super excited that, like, yeah, just found a community of other people, and just to be a part of something bigger than myself, which I always enjoy.
Yeah, appreciate that. Anyone else want to weigh in on?
Introduction story.
It doesn't matter.
She was after the actual last show, like,
Yeah. Okay. Give us a
Right, if I last like the last edition, I am. So what happened was I saw the STEM Success Summit, saw them posting photos, so I sent Justin like the eye emoji. So I was like, well, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Me and Nehemiah had interacted a little bit.
Yeah.
But I did that was before I did the live. After I did the live. No, before.
Yes.
Yes.
This was you had the t-shirt.
Right. So I had already known Justin, talking to him, knew Naomi because we did a challenge together, knew Steph because we were at Vanderbilt together, and everyone else I met. So yeah, I just did eye emoji, and then I was like, hey, see you next year, and I was on the team. So really, you don't ask questions, just be a part of something if you want to be a part of it. And then I've been here ever since.
There we go.
All right.
What's the next question?
Yeah. So, well, I'm going to do one last question here. So before we kick it to our audience, Maynard, do you have any hilarious interactions that you've had with a fellow STEM Success Summit team member?
Ooh, hilarious interactions.
Interaction, hilarious story, crazy time.
Yesterday, last night.
We did have some fun last night, actually. I think the greatest thing about our team is like this team building of us just being here in the space, right? We're here at our studios, okay, but it is also our home. This is where we're living at, and so we just have great camaraderie. All right, we go out to eat every night. Last night we played VR here, Oculus, right? We're playing Oculus on here, and we even had people reaching out to us and purchasing Oculuses afterwards. So if Oculus, if you're watching, yes, you're representing out here. All right, that's how we do.
But I think the best part of the interactions is just going out to eat, sharing stories, getting to know a little bit more about each other, where we came from, behind the scenes stuff. Because we've been in our weekly meetings, and you only get to know each other so much. So I think the actual physical interaction and the first time having all 9 of us here in one place has been epic.
Right. Okay, so.
Donna's got a story.
Oh, you got a story to tell? I got one. Donna's got a story to tell.
I don't know who this is gonna be about. Buddy.
So, how many days has it been? 2 days? Yeah, time is flying. So, I have a story about Corey. We had a flight from Detroit to North Carolina. And so, I was there. You know, my mom raised me to come to the Detroit Metro Airport 2 hours early.
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours. Not 1, 2. Respectable, right? I won't be late is the point. Corey maybe was raised to come 5 minutes before the flight departs. So I'm sending her text messages maybe 10, 20 minutes before we board. I'm like, yo, they about to board, so you need to be here, right? You need to be here. She's like, I'm gonna be there when it's boarded. Okay. She said that. She has TSA pre-check and flee. Right? So you better recognize. Right? However, Nehemiah booked the flights without TSA pre-check. And clear.
Did I do that?
So you know she was running. By the way, okay, she wasn't running. The terminal is at the very end of the airport. So she better been running, but she worked her black girl match.
She almost made it.
She ain't made it.
She almost made it.
I was in my seat on the plane, like, why are you not here yet?
Okay, all right, so we got a question here from someone in the chat. It says, our student, she's a STEM coordinator, it's from Imani. She said, our students are afraid to try anything new. They do not like being embarrassed when they fail. What strategies will help them overcome their fear of failure? It's a really good question when we think about STEM people, right? And like a lot of times, let's go with that.
Absolutely. So it's really cool, and we're gonna not only just the STEM Avenger family, but everyone just really shares like failing is a part of STEM in general. You know, we don't learn, we don't grow until we find where our limits are and then be able to kind of find ways or resources to push through them to continue to go further than we had before. So one way I would suggest is simply just sharing your own. Maybe even go around the room and have everyone share a time when they did fail, either what they were humiliated or scared, embarrassed. And then obviously they're all still here today, you know, so even though we do feel a sense of pride and our prides are hurt a little, we have so much more opportunity for growth when we do have something to be proud of, because you had those moments, even if you were humiliated or scared or nervous, or even like you felt like someone was making fun of you. Because again, if you're not continuing to push yourself, there's nothing more that you have the opportunity to achieve. So one, you can say, well, you can be comfortable and just stay where you're at. Or you can see, you know, kind of what's on the other side to continue to push yourself and see how much more out there is waiting for you. Opportunities don't always just come to you. You have to go chase them and find them. And that's the opportunity, even just within our own team. How do I not, like Corey was mentioning, just even send that eye emoji, she wouldn't be sitting here. If the guys wouldn't have sent those invitations, we accept something that maybe we didn't know whether we would like or not, we wouldn't know whether or not we had this opportunity to have an amazing family that we've built here. So again, you never know what's waiting on your side. And again, we all have a failure. That's a part of life. We didn't learn how to walk the time we tried. We didn't learn how to ride a bike the first time we tried. We all didn't learn how to read a book the first time we tried. It takes practice and repetition, and we go from there.
So another thing I'm seeing here is like, you know, all of you all are so well trained and well spoken. How did you all get to that stage where, in a lot of times, STEM careers don't encourage that kind of work? Anyone want to tackle this one?
That's what we're
I don't know about well spoken, but it's practice. Just doing it over and over and over again, even when you feel uncomfortable, even when you're shy, even when you're introverted like I am. I prefer, honestly, to stay within myself. But when that camera comes on, Sheila comes on, okay? And it activates. But really, it's just practice, doing those free speaking gigs, seeing, you know, how you can relate to your audience in different ways, knowing your audience, what are they going to be into, what they like, what are ways to entertain them, and just honestly just knowing yourself. So don't try to be like anybody. Yes, take some advice, look at them, maybe some gestures, but do you be authentic? Because everyone can always tell when you're not being authentic to yourself. So really, all I say is practice, practice, practice. In front of those lab meetings, in front of conferences, in front of just the meeting for today for your job. Take it as an opportunity to get your speaking on it.
Cool. All right, so looking for some other questions here. Make sure you're asking questions in the chat here. Looking for some other questions from y'all. So this is interesting. So how do you all, what is your approach when you're reaching out to young people to advocate for them to improve and engage in STEM careers? Anyone want to take that one?
I can take that one.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm trying to practice speaking because I'm just like Corey. I'm very introverted, and this is something that's breaking me out my shell. But anyway, it's really important to really communicate to the next generation of future innovators and technologists, and just champions in STEM to explore the STEM industry in ways that are engaging to them and ways that are relatable. So you can, kind of bridge the dots between, okay, maybe what's your interest? Like, what are you interested in? What industries you're interested in? So if they're interested in like music, they could work for Spotify and as a software developer, or if they're interested in sports, they could work for Nike or the NBA as a data analyst. So it's important to kind of like make that direct connection and make that real world connection. There's different tools out there that can help gamify the STEM education experience, make it fun and exciting, and then show them that there are other like idols out there that are diverse and kind of shine light on the women and the minorities that are leading in the space. And yeah, there's a lot of resources out there, and just encourage them to really, it's a challenge, and the STEM industry is all about problem solving. So it is okay to fail, like Brianne was touching on. But it's important that you're learning at the same time, and you're able to, create solutions. And at the end of the day, you'll feel good about yourself that you took the step forward, and just try to be as motivational and understanding as possible.
I know you have a question for you, Naomi, but let's see. So Elizabeth here asked, as a fellow introvert, can you share strategies for networking? Oh. Anyone else want to take that? I mean, I think it's a very Naomi question.
Okay, I'm very introverted. Yes, me and my introverted queens. But there's different ways. I mean, leveraging the power of social media, honestly, via Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can have a lot of conversations where you actually don't have to talk. You can do it all through DMs, emails, and things of that nature.
That's how we first started talking.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when you do get, up the courage to want to actually have a conversation, you can do it virtually, so you're not like, in person, if that makes you feel a lot more comfortable. So you can have notes with you. So if you're kind of like blanking on what to say, that's what I do. Because sometimes like I'll just, forget everything I'm supposed to say and what the point of the conversation was.
Right. And I think also just like listening, like active listening. I think that also helps as well. So just what is the person saying? You don't always have to talk. But again, like for me, it's like a switch that I turn on, and so I guess like Beyonce with her alter ego, that's kind of like me. So it's just like what I want to put on or emulate when I am in a place where I have to be more extroverted. Because honestly, introvert, extrovert is a spectrum. Yeah. So you're just always one way or the other. You can't, fluctuate. So just practice talking to people. Sometimes it will be social awkward. Sometimes you won't know what to say, but people are normally nice human beings. Yeah. And you can have a good conversation. Yeah. All it is practice.
And you don't have to go to like networking events all the time, but when you do, because I do encourage you, because it takes practice to really get in your, momentum and being able to talk to people. But like, go with somebody else. Make sure that you're not going alone, especially if you're not as comfortable with going up to somebody random by yourself. So at least you can kind of start conversations and kind of navigate the room together. And then once you feel comfortable, you can go on your own.
Exactly. So, like you said, go with an extrovert.
Yeah.
Like
Justin.
Justin,
great person.
I'm actually
very extrovert for real.
But you're good at networking. Yeah, you're good at networking, so I would go with you.
You can spark a conversation with anybody.
Right, exactly.
Hey, that was good. That was so good. Listen, if you want STEM Media to produce a master class on that with these two ladies, I need you to put master class in the chat. They need a master class. They gave you a nice lesson, a nice module for free. But hey, make sure you take it to heart.
Right. So, okay, we got another good question here from Mike Jackson. Says, are you guys considering branching out? Do you need any help that any of us can assist with or expand STEM Media?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I don't want to take up the rest of the time, but the vision is huge. The vision is massive. And we believe that we're making a dent in how STEM is perceived. This is what STEM success looks like. And so in the question of are we branching out? Absolutely. This event alone, just take this event alone. We have visions of it growing and becoming something that is online as well as in person, a hybrid experience, something that brings value together and allows us to express ourselves in several ways, not just in our technical fields, but in our creative fields. And if there's anything that you want to do to help out, I'll just say shoot me an email, Nehemiah@stemmedia.org. So I won't take up the whole time, but the answer is yes, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Cool. All right. So I think we'll maybe do one or two more questions, then we'll go into some superlatives after that. So this one's cool. Have you guys started outreach programs or implemented new course ideas at your previous universities? I'm a forensic science student, but my HBCU did not have options for the forensic world, but I would love to go back and start it. So like anyone that started like a program or an initiative.
Don started an initiative program.
So I will highly encourage, especially for the university campuses, they have a ton of student organizations as well. So many of us here actually are a part of the National Society of Black Engineers, NSBE, Society of Women Engineers, SWE, and Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, SHIP. There are tons others out there that are really dedicated to ensuring the success. They have hundreds of thousands of network of diverse engineers, and even outside, they're extending it to STEM. So we have the opportunity to do and support mathletes or first robotics teams. So I would highly encourage you to check out those programs if they don't already have a student chapter or student section on their campuses. It's super easy to get that kind of support as well. If you need any help, please feel free to email team@stemsuccesssummit.com, and we'll be happy to make those introductions. And I even just mentioned First Robotics. There's other organizations as well that are there to start learning hands-on experience, to have practice in starting to fail, and having the opportunity to really just have fun with STEM. And so this is a great opportunity. There's tons of research and even resources to start that outreach program. Many of us all go around and even share our own stories. We speak on panels and do a lot of great opportunity to even just showcase that we can do it, that we are here and representing and continue to push the threshold of what we're capable of doing as diverse engineers within the STEM community. So again, please feel free to hit us up if you need any support in that. But again, we're all personally involved in ways of being able to help support outreach efforts, but there are great programs already in place that you can utilize.
Yep. So this question is from Lillian. She said it's for either Dr. Nee or anyone else who's left their job to do this kind of work full time. What has been the best and scariest parts of that? I guess I got it. Okay. So I think for me, I'll talk about the scariest parts of it. I actually did it when I was probably way too young. So I quit my job when I was, I think, 22 or 23 years old. I was working in tech at the time. And I said, I don't like this. I want control of my life. I was a scholarship student, so I saved up a bunch of money. One of the things I would always suggest is you save like 6 to 8 months of living expenses. Calculate that out before you take the leap. And you also want to be making money off of what you're leaping into, ideally, before you take the leap. I wasn't doing either of those things, so I literally bet all the way on myself. And I made it really hard for myself. But I'm the type of person that really works well under pressure. So I knew, like, if you know yourself and you're that type of person, you can put yourself under that kind of pressure. One of the other things I want to suggest real quick, and I'll kick it to Maynard, is entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Like, it's glamorized on social media, it's made into this sexy thing, but really, if you're not the type of person that almost likes freedom more than the pain of and the costs of it, what it takes to be free in that space, and also the uncertainty of it all, the instability of it all, if you don't like those things to a certain extent, then entrepreneurship may not be for you. So, Maynard, you want to go ahead and take the next piece of that
real quick? Those were gems, absolutely. I have a quote that I always go by: is when you find your passion, it becomes your purpose, and you can no longer be passive. I worked as an engineer for a number of years, and it was what I went to school for. It was what I studied. And working in the field, I realized it wasn't for me because I didn't have the opportunity to be my full self. I was always into entertainment and music. I was working as an artist. I was doing all sorts of other things, theatrical work. And that was what I was passionate about doing. I spent all my nights and my evenings focused on that. And I wanted to be able to give myself the opportunity to be able to do it full time. And just like Justin said, if you're not willing to make the sacrifice, entrepreneurship might not be for you. And it's not just sacrifices in regards to your time and what your professions were. It's sacrifice in regards to your family, your relationships, financial sacrifice as well too. I went from having a glamorous job, making great money, to sleeping on a couch, right, in a little one-bedroom apartment, not being able to spend time with family, not having a great relationship, all these different things, right? You have to be willing to make the sacrifice and know what's in store. But if you believe in yourself and you trust in yourself and you know you're willing to overcome and you're willing to put the work in, anything is possible. And so if you know that, you could go ahead and slide right into it. All of us here are doing entrepreneurship work in everything that we're doing. And just like I said, it's easy to be glamorized on social media, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of work day in, day out. And so don't forget that the fact that you have to put in the work in order to have success and be able to be in this position now, to be able to fully do everything that you love. So that's what I got. If you have the dream to be able to do that, know your passion and know what your worth is and go after it.
Banger. That was good. And Wendy says, you guys make STEM folks look so cool. Well, thank you, Wendy. I mean, that's kind of what we do. So, okay, we're going to kick it off into the last phase here. We got about 5 minutes left or so. We're going to do a few superlatives. So I'm going to read off some superlatives for you all, and we kind of all figure out who's the person that has the superlative on the team. All right, so here we go. Okay. So let's see. Most likely to become a travel blogger. Who's that?
Corey or
Naomi? All right. Most likely to open a yoga studio.
Stephanie.
5.
Oh, we just
Most likely to star in their own reality show. Why me? Okay. Most likely to, let's see, I'm gonna go to some other ones. Most likely to get, well, that's everyone there. Okay, sorry, it's taking a second. There's a lot of superlatives here, y'all. Most likely to marry a millionaire.
How about be a millionaire?
There's a be a millionaire one. That's everybody.
The person that married me.
Most likely to visit Mars.
Oh,
Maybe.
I can see Mary doing that too.
All right. I like that.
Most likely to become a superhero. Or let's say most likely who leads a secret double life as a superhero.
Right.
Sounds like that. Ricky low key. Right?
Yeah.
Where's he now? Where did Ricky go?
Where'd he go? Where's Ricky?
I've never seen Batman and Ricky the same way. I've never seen them at the same time. Same way.
The best person to share a deserted island with. Not like that.
Brienne would be pretty fun.
Most likely to perform at a circus. Why? What would I do at a circus? Yo, wow. Most likely to leave and never come back. That doesn't have any context. I don't know. Let's see. Most likely to quietly take over the world. I said quiet.
I own tech.
Yeah.
Most likely to win the lottery and lose the ticket.
I'm actually going to step on that.
And this should like create a whole new lottery. The same night. Like, oh, how did you create that?
Just fabricate it.
Most likely to break a world record. Maynard probably already broke it. He probably already has that story.
That might not be great.
Most opinionated. Most likely to not change at all.
Is that good or bad? Authenticity or what do you mean? I don't know if it's good or bad.
Biggest drama king / queen. I don't do any drama. I don't know what y'all talking about. Most likely to be late for class. Most gullible. Let's see.
I think 1 minute.
Last one here. Most likely to put something off until tomorrow.
One time.
All right, hey,
Yeah.
we got to say we'll get out. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We got a whole nother session of workshop. I hope you can hear me. It's our last block of the day. It's going to be a power pack session followed by a closing session, which will include X being interviewed by one of our very own. So make sure you head over to that. We're going to go ahead and end this time of Kicking It With the Team. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for everybody participating in Kahoot. And hey, we got a lot more summit coming your way. All right. Peace.